behind me. He has no clue what he's doing. He makes his mother cry. She comes to the room and where is he? No one knows. And I sound Arabic now. Who cares? I'll stay in this accent. And he just, every time I yell at him, but the thing is, he never talks to me when I yell at him, so he must not be mad. In fact, he is the most sane person I've ever met in my entire life. I love him. I love him.
So you just said that he makes his mother cry, and he's the greatest person ever.
He must be. He never responds to my criticism. Ever. Ever.
So, Raskolnikov, how are you today?
I'm doing just dandy.
Just dandy? So, and what do you want from Razumikin?
Well, I would quite like it if Razumikin could look after my family and my sister, who I know he's madly in love with. And I trust him. He's a good friend, and I'll be going away for quite some time.
And Porphyry, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great.
You're doing great?
Long time viewer, first time interview.
Wow, I feel honored. Did you watch last week's episode?
I sure did. Chris Jenner's insane.
Yes. And you went to Raskolnikov to talk about the murder, right?
This is correct.
And what about the painter? Didn't he confess to the crime?
He did, but I'm still in suspicion of Raskolnikov over here. He's a pretty shady character. I'm still a little bit shifty on the confession made by the painter.
Why is that?
Demeanor that emulates Raskolnikov. I do not like it.
Is it the red sweater?
Beyond reasons of his apparel.
We'll see. And continuing with this, why not just arrest Raskolnikov and throw him in jail?
Well, we do have someone who did already confess for it, but there are still other suspicions, but not enough evidence to arrest him.
Due to our internet polls, you are the most excited about guests this evening, so I have some more questions for you. And what is this with telling Raskolnikov to suffer? What do you mean? Isn't it enough for just to lock him in jail?
I think some punishment needs to be made more than just incarceration for this potential murderer.
And is that because he's actually not confessing?
Yeah.
And to our guest tonight, Raskolnikov, and after your meeting with Porphyry, you go to see Svidrigailov, right? And what is with that?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
wondering that too.
I hate that guy. He's a despicable human being. I'm not really sure which one of these he is, but
Just letting you know, they all have glasses on and they can't say anything. They're like 3 blind mice.
yes,
There's
I haven't slept in
7
weeks.
of them. Don't worry, I have more questions.
Oh, I wasn't done with my rant.
Oh, keep ranting, keep ranting.
Creepy pedophile who's got a thing for my sister.
All right, Svidrigailov, how are you?
Sup?
Sup? It's always the blue sweater. And what is your spin on your meeting with Raskolnikov?
Well, first he tries to pretend he didn't see me in that tavern, and then I go and he talks about his... Oh wait, no, I talk about crazy stuff.
Remember, they're from Russia, people.
Yeah, definitely. Well, well, I don't know, I think I had a little bit too much to drink that night. So, I think I might have said some things I regret.
You had literally 1 glass of wine.
It hits me hard and I have champagne.
Well, besides losing your shoes, did anything else happen? Anything discussed about your relationships?
Our relationships, well, he's had some quite suspicious...
I mean yours.
My relationships.
This is about you right now.
Oh, my relationships. Well, I've recently become engaged to a lovely, fairly young lady, but she is a woman now.
She's 15.
She's 16, thank you very much. 16, 1 whole year more.
All right, audience, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. How do you feel about his engagement to a 16-year-old? One in the nice navy blue sweater who has some brownies with him. Keep
Love
going.
knows no age.
I have no brownies, but I think it's a bit creepy, and I think that I'm very fortunate to not spend that much time in Russia.
All right. Dr. Raskolnikov, our guest in red, besides this lovely lady over here, what do you think about Svidrigalov's engagement?
Well, it's despicable. It disgusts me, like him, in all manners. I believe it's a ploy. He's still trying to creep on my sister. I'm not sure what his goals are, and I tried to follow him around, but he ditched me, but I still don't trust him. I don't trust him.
All right, Donia, how are you today?
Great.
Great. And you're Rushcombe Cuff's sister, and how did you get involved with what's going on at this point?
Well, I used to work for this.
I was just going to say, why are you sitting next to him?
I'm not really completely sure. It still kind of makes me a little uncomfortable. The line has been crossed multiple times. I agree with everything my brother has said about him being a creepy pedophile. I think that was a great description for him.
How did all that make you feel, Svijagala?
I just don't know why she doesn't love me. I tried to love her and she just shoots at me.
You locked me in a room.
It might be the sweater. And the audience, how do you feel about this attempt to get Donia to submit to Svijagala?
I mean, this man has a fiance. He is engaged and married, so it just disgusts me.
Is it the sweater?
I like
It's not the sweater.
His sweater's as
And-
ugly as his soul.
My lovely lady, Ross's mother. And Mom, you've seen how strangely your son's been acting. Yet you don't get involved. Why not?
That is exactly the wrong thing that you should do. You see, I try so hard for my son. I try to set up arranged marriage with my daughter to help him get career. I try to further him and inspire him to use his mind for great things. But you see, sometimes he does not listen. And I'm so stressed as his mother. I have my daughter being chased by some kidney takers. My son is getting wrapped up in all this nonsense. And Mr. Puffrey over here will not leave him alone. There is no peace in my household, and I have done nothing but try for the best for my son.
Now, going back to the murder of neighbors have reported that you finally went to the police and confessed. What finally drove you to it?
Well, you see, I decided that I've been suffering enough, and there was no way to escape my suffering except to confess. It was driving me mad, and really I've been debating killing myself recently. I don't know, dark stuff.
There's a sensor machine going on with this, right? Just making sure.
No, it's okay, I'm over it. You know.
Yep, there's a delay. And audience, what do you think?
Well, I think very interesting. I'm very surprised to see Svijagala here. That caught me off guard.
What about Rushcombe just speech about his confession?
His confession? Well, you know, I think we all saw that coming. He's been talking about it for quite some time now. He's been talking to himself. It didn't surprise me at all.
And Sonia, the lovely Sonia in yellow. You're the last person close to Rushcombe to see him before the confession. Do you think he has changed?
I definitely think he's changed because he decided to actually go and try and make amends with his mom, his sister, and I before he left. And even though he actually said goodbye to them and I was offended it did not happen for me, I decided to follow him and find out.
So you followed him?
Yeah.
Yep.
I was a little nervous because I knew that he had been contemplating suicide lately with his actions and everything, that I wanted to make sure that he really wouldn't end up doing himself more harm in that way and actually would confess and make amends with society over the murders that he committed. That when I did see him at one point in the park, he had done everything that I had previously mentioned to him, aside from just screaming out that he was a murderer and kissing the ground and realizing how precious life really is, as opposed to just beginning to do that and then reacting to all the comments that everybody was making about him being a madman at the time.
That was great. Thank you so much, audience. I think our guests deserve a round of applause, don't they?
Actually,
Yes?
it just occurred to me, at this point, I've been arrested, right?
Yes, we took off your jacket, so, and Rich Golloff's on the other side.
Shouldn't you be dead? I thought you shot.
The river has a way of...
Alright, you know what, this is what's great about my own network, because I have the opportunity to have them starring on a new reality TV series coming next year, and it's called One Hot Russian Mess. Now, before we end today's discussion, I thought we were talking... Alright, this is edited, right? Okay. So we're here discussing today about the future of these wonderful lives here, and Raz's mother, which I didn't even invite her here. But anyway, something that we all talk about is something called, you have an extraordinary man theory, right?
Of course I do.
Of course, and did that follow through with your life?
Well, apparently I was dead wrong, unfortunately.
So I think that's what we all discovered here, that there is not something called an extraordinary man theory. And something great about this whole Russian crew is that we've learned something so great, is that we're all human. Thank you for listening to us tonight, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and good luck in prison. Thank you very much.